Welcome to Black Swan Revelations. I am going to do my best to explain the multiverse theory or the multiverse hypothesis. And no, I am not a scientist. I just like science fiction movies. I like movies about time travel. I like movies that talk about multiple universes, all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that conversation. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I throw my hat into the mix and share my thoughts or my ideas in the form of a hypothesis to help explain the Mandela effect and perhaps pose a new theory that explains the multiverse theory. And again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't have any scientific papers or anything on this. I just thought, you know what? Why don't I put a little spin on this and see what people think? And maybe, who knows, maybe this is total crazy town, total crazy train. Um, Maybe there'll be a conversation generated from this that people go, you know what? That kind of makes me think a little bit, or it's totally crazy and you can debunk it, whatever. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just share my thoughts about and try my best to explain how the multiverse works? And I'm going to use a concept that I created. It's called echo variance. And if you look it up, you're not going to see it anywhere because I invented it. I called it a name. It's called echo variance. I'm going to explain it in this video. And I'm going to try and tie it in with the Mandela effect, why people experience the Mandela effect. Again, treat this like science fiction right out of the gate. Don't take this as this is 100% proof that we live in a universe where there's an infinite amount of universes. Just take it with a grain of salt. Let's just have fun with this. I'm going to share my thoughts, and then I want you to be able to have a conversation about this. If you want me to go deeper into another video, let me know that as well in the comments. So we're basically gonna start off from the perspective of three universes, and I think that is probably the easiest way to explain things. So, but I need to write out some definitions for you. So, Um, here we go. So we have the first, which is E, which is called echo variance. Again, if you look this word up, you're not going to find it anywhere. Echo variance. And I'm going to explain what this word is. And keeping in mind, I only heard about the Mandela effect maybe about a week ago. So I thought, this kind of fits with some of my thoughts. So I thought, why not talk about it? Why not make a video about it? And let's just see where this goes. So we got the Mandela effect. This is what I like to do. I like to think outside the box, by the way, if you don't know me by now. Mandela effect. And this is for nerds out there that like this kind of stuff, that love Star Trek, that like Star Wars, that like time travel, Terminator, all this kind of stuff. So we're also dealing with three universes for this to work. We need three universes. We don't need more. Three is good. Three is plenty. So universe one is our originating universe. Okay. That's that's everything that we experience according to our perspective right here. Right now, today, this is our original universe. So we'll call this the originating universe. U1. Then let's go. Let me just flip over here. Flip over to, we'll call universe 2 the intermediate universe. And I'm going to explain all this, but I think it's important to understand what we're dealing with. Intermediate universe. All right. And then the third universe is our universe today. So again, this might sound confusing at first, but this is our universe after the effects of the originating universe, which is before anything changed. And then you have an intermediate universe, and then you have our universe. And in our universe, universe 3, this is where you get the Mandela effect. You don't have the Mandela effect in the originating universe. That doesn't exist. Nobody's walking around going, I think Nelson Mandela died in 1980 instead of 2013. That doesn't exist in this universe, in U1. Okay, that's very important. That's why I call it the originating universe. The intermediate universe is where things begin to change, but we're not fully aware of it. But there's a change occurring, and I'm going to explain it, but we're just not fully aware. And in the third universe, this is where we get the Mandela effect, where people are like, I could have swore Fruit Loops was spelled F-R-O-O-T, and now you're telling me it's fruit? There's no way. But in universe 3, there are pockets of people that are like, I swear Fruit Loops had 2 O's, and there are people that say, I swear Fruit Loops was always Fruit Loops. And when you look back in time, you look at it and you're like, they're right. It's F-R-U-I-T. But what do you do with the people that are saying, no, 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 I swear that it was F-R-O-O-T? Well, it's because they came from the originating universe. And I'm going to explain it in this video. So the people that are from the originating universe, there's no way that you can explain away by using the evidence in the third universe, U3. You can't use the same strategies because their history is F-R-U-I-T. In their history, Mandela died in 2013. In the originating universe, Nelson Mandela died in 1980. So you can't go back in time in U3 and go, oh, yeah, because you're going to be lost. You're going to be like, wow, Nelson Mandela died in 2013. That means case closed. Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because again, there's pockets of people that are from the originating universe. And again, I'm going to explain this, how this works. But it's just important to understand these are the 3 universes that we're talking about. So let's talk about echo variance. And I think this will help put things a little bit into perspective. So echo variance represents the effect of information transfer between universes, causing a shift in perception on reality. So it begins to shift people's concept of what's real and what isn't real. And it's minute. It's just tiny. It's almost like a little vibration. So echo variance could be anywhere from 1% to 100%. So that's important to look at this kind of thing. So it depends where people are on the planet, because this can affect people in different ways at different times, at different seasons, all this kind of stuff. And again, I'm going to dive deep into this, but it's important to understand what ecovariance is. It's a percentage of somebody that's like, it feels like this is what my original universe was like, but when I look around me, it's different. It's a different universe, and that's not how I remembered it. But there's going to be groups of people that will be like that on different topics. They may look at Mandela and go, yeah, he clearly died in 2013, but they'll argue with you with the monocle with Mr. Monopoly saying, no, I swear the monocle was on. And the same person that says, no, Mandela died in 1980 will disagree with you about the monocle and say there was never a monocle. So that's what ecovariance is. It means there could be a little shift on an individual basis for one person. To him, in his original universe, U1, Mandela could have died in 1980, but there could have been peanut butter called Jif, and there could have been Fruit Loops that were spelled Fruit. But in the other person's universe, it could be totally different. I know it gets a little crazy, right? But that's what variance is. It means it could be just a point in a person's life where something shifted and that was it. The rest of it, like almost 99% of everything else, is identical to the other universe. But to those people, it could be a percent or more. And they look at you like, no, you're crazy. There was no Monaco. There was no Jiffy peanut butter. There was no Mandela dying in 1980. He died in 2013. Or one of those events happened, but two didn't. So this is echo variance and its finest, and it varies person to person, time to time. It could be a pocket of a minute. It could be a pocket of a day. A day could be shifted. It could be a year. We don't know. And it's on an individual basis. So that's a bit of the concept of echo variance. So then we have to talk about information transfer. So that's right here. So we'll talk about this. So this also has a percentage. So we'll call it information transfer. And this too is based on a percentage. So we'll call it I, just so it's easy to remember, but we're talking about information transfer. So if you look at it from a formula perspective, you could say this range is anywhere from 0 or from 1 to 100%. And it actually could be 0 to 100% on a second by second basis, on a minute by minute basis, on an hour, on a day, on a year basis. There's ranges. So we look at it in measurements of 0 to 100%. So 100% would mean Nelson Mandela died in 1980 for that person in their originating universe. 100% they know he died in 1980, but other events may not have changed between that universe and someone else's universe. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about information transfer on Nelson Mandela. Now, there could be other things that have happened that might only be 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever, not enough for you to notice. But in this case, they would swear, they'd be like 100% Nelson Mandela died in 1980. And the person next to him would say 100% he did not die in 1980. He died in 2013. This is what we're dealing with. So from the person from universe 3, it's basically 0%, because to them, they know that Nelson Mandela died in 2013. So there's no change for them at all. They look at you as crazy. But in your world, there's 100% change, because your world, in your originating world, he died in 1980. Still with me? Still with me? All right, then we have another letter that we have to add to our formula, and that is confusion or discrepancy. We'll just call it C for now. Hopefully you guys can stay with me till we get to the good stuff, but because this is important to understand that this is the formula that we're coming up with to explain why people experience the Mandela effect. And so the confusion or discrepancy is a range from 0 to 100% on any given event. And in the originating universe, it's always 0. Information transfer is 0. Confusion or discrepancy is 0. But if there is a shift, and I'm going to explain what caused the shift, we're going to tie this in with CERN. You need a shift to happen to cause something that begins to shift you from universe 1 to making changes on an individual basis throughout the universe. And this is what causes a bit of confusion for people, because the percentage could be light, and it could be information is being transferred or lost, or there's a percentage of confusion from 0 to 100% in the second universe, because there was a shift that occurred, and I'm going to explain what caused the shift. But it's important to understand the difference between the three universes. Universe 1, there's no change ever in that universe. Nothing. There's no Mandela effect. There's no change. Nothing. There's no confusion. There's no transfer of information. There's 0. But when you get a shift, it begins to transfer, and people start going, something's off, but they can't explain it. And there's groups and pockets of people. You almost look at it like a sandbox where you have a grader and you're shifting sand, and only some sand falls through and shifts into the second universe. Not everyone. And it's a percentage. It could be 1% of the population shifts and drops through to universe 2, and they're not aware of it. And the people that are in the originating universe don't know that certain people have dropped out. They're unaware, because again, they're at 0. 0 for confusion, 0 for discrepancy, 0 for information of transfer. So to everyone in that population, nothing's happening. 0. But to the people in universe 2 that have just been dropped into universe 2, again, basically look at it in layers. You got universe 1, unaffected, universe 2, and then universe 3, which is the combination of universe 1 and universe 2. So universe 2, not everybody's totally aware of what's going on, but they feel something is off, but they can't taste it, they can't describe it. They just, as they're going about their daily lives, they're just kind of, this is weird. When we get to the third universe, it is locked in. Why do I say it's locked in? It's because it's done. The transfer is now over, meaning the people that have dropped from universe 1 have now sifted, and they're now in universe 3, and they know that there's something different. There's something different. So when you ask them, about the Fruit Loop cereal or Fruit of the Loom. They're like, yeah, in my universe, there was a, what do they call it? A brown conch or whatever, and fruit. They say, yes, it was there. But in the new universe, which is universe 3, in their world, there was never that addition to the logo. It was just fruit. That was it. But the people that have been sifted from universe 1, they would swear that there was, if you look at the Fruit Loops analogy, that in their world it was FROOT, because in their world that's what it was. Kellogg's made the Fruit Loop logo exactly like that. But in universe 3, there are, most of the population would say, no, it was never FROOT. It was always FRUIT. And these people that are from universe 1 that drop through the sifter will never be able to explain it away because they're in universe 3. The only way is for them to go back to universe 1 and drag universe 3 people to their universe and say, look, see? And then obviously the universe 3 people would be crazy because they're looking at universe 1. But in our hypothesis, nobody gets to universe 1. Why? The people in universe 3 have had the change. You can't go back to universe 1 because you're changing universe 1, which makes it now universe 4. See where I'm going with this? So that universe 1 is gone for the people that have sifted through to universe 2 because they're not, the sifting hasn't been completed yet. There's still people dropping through, and it could be during the duration of that universe. That's universe 2. But when they drop, it's over for that person, as in they can't go back to universe 2, they can't go back to universe 1. That is their new universe. Universe 3 is their new universe. To the people in universe 3, it's their originating universe. So nothing's changed for them. They just look at you like, you're crazy. You're just crazy. But the shift could have happened the day before yesterday to that person. They could have dropped from universe 1 to universe 3. Hopefully you're still with me. Hopefully you're still with me. All right, so information transfer is the amount or intensity of information that echoes from universe 1 to universe 2. That's what creates universe 3. Confusion or discrepancy is a factor by which the information causes confusion or alters perception in universe 2. So that's, again, it's from 0 to 100% discrepancy or confusion. There'll be pockets of people that are like, man, this is confusing, but I can't figure this out until it's finished, until everybody that drops forms universe 3, and then it's over. But to the people in universe 3, there's no change. It's only the people that are coming out of universe in 1 and 2 that notice something. They're like, something is off. I can't figure this out. But you can get 2 people from universe 1 that will disagree on topics, which makes it confusing for universe 3 because person A will agree with person C, let's just say from universe 3, on the topic of Mandela dying in 2013. But when it comes to Fruit Loops, they disagree. But person B will agree with person C when it comes to Fruit Loops, but they won't agree on the Mandela effect. Hopefully that makes sense. So then on some instances, the person from universe 3 is like, you're crazy, but some things we agree on. And person A, you're crazy, but some things we agree on. person A and B will think person C is crazy on all topics. They're like, yeah, you don't even agree with me on the Mandela, but you agree with him on Fruit Loops or vice versa. So you can see how all of a sudden all three parties now, depending on the person's perspective, can actually look crazy. But in their world, what they're saying is truth because we're dealing with three universes. Hopefully that's not too confusing. So the Mandela effect represents the collective false memories or altered perceptions shared by a group of people. So it could be altered perceptions and it is their truth. But to the people in the third universe, when they see the Mandela effect, they're like, you're crazy because I know he died in 2013, but that's according to your universe. It's not according to theirs. So in their universe, again, they saw Nelson Mandela's funeral in 1980. Hopefully, hopefully we got that out of the way. All right, so again, the Mandela effect represents a collective false memories or altered perception shared by a group of people. And again, you could also include the idea that there are true memories, because again, you're mixing the universes together. This is why we have a Mandela effect. So again, I have to reiterate that this is basically hypothetical. It's conceptual. It's intended to just illustrate the relationship between ecovariance and the Mandela effect, which could be influenced by the intensity of information transferred from another universe, for example, ecovariance, leading to the collective false memories or altered perceptions in our universe. Please note that this formula is not based on established scientific principles, but it is my own speculative attempt to mathematically represent the concepts of ecovariance and the Mandela effect in the context of the multiverse theory. I have to put this out there every once in a while because people are like, oh, well, what he's saying is a lie or he's not a scientist. No, I'm not a scientist. I'm just trying to explain how things in my head work. All right, so now let's erase all this. Hopefully you got all this stuff here. So let's erase this. And we're going to continue. Man, this eraser is brutal. Brutal. Can I make this erase any faster? No. This is the only way? I thought there's a way to erase the whole screen at once. All right, it's all right. The ink dries pretty fast on this board. So hopefully you're still with me because this is where it gets really interesting now. Come on. Can't erase these dots. Can I? Oh yeah, I can do this too. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right. So let's go back to the pencil. And let's go back to our little formula. So now we have E, 1 and 2, which will equal, and I'm not going to write this whole thing out, but I just want you to understand what this means. This is basically ecovariance from U1 to U2, universe 1 to universe 2. There is no ecovariance in universe 1 only. It only happens once you start shifting people from universe 1 to universe 2. Then you have ecovariance universe 2, universe 3. So basically, same thing. So now you have a variance from the people that are actually in universe 2, which is now becoming universe 3. So there's a variance, there's an echo variance there again. And when I'm talking about echoes, I'm talking about you can't prove this 100%. You just know something is going on and you're like, "Man, I must be losing my mind." And it could be something as simple as you put your coffee cup down on your coffee table and you walk away to do something and you come back and your coffee cup is not there. It's actually in the cupboard. And you're like, what? I thought I just made myself a cup of coffee. Huh, weird. Maybe that was earlier this morning, or maybe that was yesterday, or whatever it is. Or your coffee mug is here, but now it's actually on this side of the table or on the opposite side of the table. And you feel like something is weird, but you don't really pay attention to it. You're like, oh, I thought I placed my coffee here. It's kind of weird. Again, this is what echo variance from 0 to 100 is happening to the people that are in universe 2 and are slowly dropping to universe 3. That, like, universe 3 is becoming their universe now as they're interacting with people that were already in universe 3. They're forming their own brand new universe now. They have their memories from universe 1, but it's becoming blurred the more that they interact with people from universe 3. And they slowly morph into universe 3, but they have doubts in their mind. They're looked at like a bit more of a skeptic, and people are like, "Yeah, you're crazy, man." Am I crazy? Yeah, you're right. You're crazy. And then they just forget about it. So this is what the people are experiencing from universe 2 to 3. There is no more universe 1. Why? Because they were sifted out of universe 1. To them, that doesn't exist anymore because their universe is changing every day now into universe 3. There's no going back unless they go back in time and drag somebody from universe 3 to universe 1. But in so doing, you're actually creating the fourth universe for the person that's originating in universe 3. All right, so now we have to deal with the universe or the information transfer from universe 1 to 2 and its variance. So this is information transfer from U1 to U2. And then you also have information transfer variance from universe 2 to universe 3. I just got lazy. I don't feel like writing out information. From U2 to U3. And then again, remember, it's on a scale from 0 to 100%. 100% could also mean that by the time they get into universe 3 and it's formed, they're like, I am 100% certain that Jiffy peanut butter existed in my universe. And the people in universe 3 would be like, no, never. It was Jif. All the time, it was Jif. So now you got the convergence of universe 1 and 2, and that makes universe number 3. Again, it varies on person to person, time to time, age to age, minute to minute, hour to hour. It could even be in the same house. It could be the husband could experience a different shift than the wife. And she's like, "You're crazy." And he's like, "You're crazy. I did the dishes." She's like, "No, you didn't do the dishes." But perhaps in his world, when the shift happened, he had done them. But when he's looking at it, he's like, I swear I did the dishes. But when he's looking at it, there's empirical evidence that he did not do the dishes. I'm not saying moving forward, use this as an excuse. Say, honey, my universe shifted. I did do them in my universe, but in your universe, it looks like I'm lazy and I didn't do it. Don't do that. Don't. That's not what we're trying to do here. Is allow you to create an excuse, although it is a good one. All right, so you got information from universe 1 and 2, information from universe 3, and then you also now have confusion from only universe 2 and 3, which is interesting, right? You have confusion of discrepancy in universe 3 because of E2 and 3, the echo variance of universe 2 and 3. Hopefully that doesn't make things more confusing for you. But you will not get confusion in universe 1. Why? Because nothing's changed. It doesn't change. That's your universe. It's the same. It's only when you get shifted or sifted because of some event that we're going to be talking about causes you to go into universe 2, and then now you're dealing with information transfer from 0 to 100, and you're like, ah, man, something's off. I can't figure it out. I must be losing my memory or something. And then confusion begins from 0 to 100, and you're like, I'm totally confused now. I'm lost because I swear this is what happened. And the more I talk about with a bunch of people that are like, no, in our universe, this never happened, you're going to go crazy. So this is why we introduce confusion of discrepancy. They're not sure what's real, what isn't real. And it's a percentage from 0 to 100. But that only gets introduced into universe 3 because of echo variance from universe 2 and universe 3. There is no echo variance in universe 1. There is no confusion in universe 1. It only begins to happen in universe 2 and 3 and actually solidifies in universe 3. So the people that are from universe 1 that are now in universe 3, they're like, ah, this is it. I can't get out of this universe. And I'm pretty sure that what I saw was real, but I'm so confused. And they will spend the rest of their existence in confusion. And the people in universe 3 will just look at them and go, yeah, you guys are crazy. You're crazy. Again, if that person from universe 1 was able to drag that person from universe 3 and make them look through a wormhole or some kind of a time machine and look back at universe 1, they'd go, look at that. See, it wasn't in their universe. It wasn't in, there was no FRUIT in my world. And the person from universe 3 will still look at you and go, that world is fake. That's not my world. I don't belong in that world. That's not my existence. So even if you don't bring them into world 1, you bring them back to world 3, universe 3, because they saw what happened in universe 1. Now they are entering into echo variance as well. They're like, wow, this is confusion now for me because I know now there's another universe out there, but it's not my universe. And really, they shouldn't be concerned about universe 1 because if they go into that universe, it's no longer universe 1, it's universe 4. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so now let's just go into, let's have a look at this now from the perspective of a hypothetical formula, and what does that look like? What does that look like if we were to write this out? So you would have to have the Mandela effect, and this ultimately will explain why people have the Mandela effect. It's because you have echo variance from universe 1 and 2, and you have a transfer of information from universe 1 and 2. So you times it by universe 1 and 2. Plus, you also have the echo variance of universe 2 and 3. Remember, there is no variance. There is no echo in universe 1. Times the information transformation of universe 2 and 3. Times because you have another factor now, confusion factor of universe 2 and 3. This is the easiest way I can explain this formula. That's why we get the Mandela effect. All right. It's because you have echo variance from universe 1 and 2. Remember, it's combined now, times the information of transfer from universe 1 and 2, plus the echo variance from universe 2 and 3, times the information transfer of 2 and 3, times the confusion of universe 2 and 3. And remember, there's also another formula on top of this that has a variance from 0 to 100% in universe 2 and 3. So hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. But this is why people are crazy when it comes to Mandela effect. This is the formula. This is what you need. So if you show them this formula and you say, this is why you're crazy, maybe it'll make sense to them. I doubt it. All right, so I'm going to close this. That was a lot. My head hurts thinking about it. So again, I got a lot of paperwork on this, but I just want to do some reading of my notes now. So just to hopefully explain this to you. So the first part of the formula is echo variance 1 and 2 times information 1 and 2 brackets. So basically echo variance 1 and 2 times information 1, 2, 1 representing universe 1 and 2 representing universe 2. So the original universe is U1 to the intermediate universe, because that's what we'll call universe 2. It's intermediate universe because it's not full. It's not fully formed yet. Why? Because there's still confusion. That's what makes up the universe of universe 2. It's intermediate. It's transitioning between universe 1 and universe 2, which gives us universe 3. So we'll call the universe 2 or U2 intermediate universe and its influence on the Mandela effect in universe 3. This is why you can't have the Mandela effect in universe 1 and you can't really have it in universe 2 because they're not aware 100% of what's going on. And they only become aware of it because they're in universe 3 and they now see the contrast, 100% contrast between what they remembered and what the people from universe 3 remember. That's what forms the Mandela effect. It's not before. You don't have echo variance in universe 1. You don't have confusion. You don't have a transfer of information in universe 1. And you don't have a such thing as the Mandela effect. And honestly, I don't remember, let's say going back a month. I don't remember anybody talking about the Mandela effect. I don't remember it. I don't remember this being a thing. I don't remember hearing anything about 1980 versus 2013. And I watched a lot of science fiction movies. I don't remember any of that stuff. I didn't even know this was a thing talking about Fruit Loops, different kinds of Fruit Loops, different kinds of peanut butter, different kinds of Monopoly icons, Money Master, or whatever the guy's name, Money Maker. I don't know what his name is. Monocle, no monocle. I didn't know this was a thing a month ago. I didn't know this was a thing a week ago. I could even argue with you maybe less than 7 days. I didn't know this was a thing. I just knew CERN was up to something, and I had no idea about CERN like a month ago. I didn't know anything about CERN. I never paid attention to these guys. I had no idea. Zero. And the idea that CERN created the World Wide Web, that the people that worked or a person that worked for CERN invented the World Wide Web, I didn't hear about that in high school. Nobody wrote out, hey, here's this particle collider and all this kind of stuff. And oh, yeah, by the way, this guy invented the World Wide Web and all this stuff, or even in college. None of that. It either went in one ear and out the other, but I don't remember any of the stuff. I always thought in my head that it was invented by the military so that they can communicate with each other and use the hypertext protocol language, and that's how they did it, and then they gave it to the world. Turns out CERN invented the World Wide Web so they can transfer all their information throughout the world, because they need a ton of data from CERN whenever they're doing their proton explosions, colliding their protons together. They need that data. So they invented the World Wide Web. I didn't know that stuff. I had no idea. None. Zero. So again, back to this formula. So this is why we get the Mandela effect in universe 3. We don't get it in universe 1. The second part of the formula is equivariance 2-3 times information 2-3 times confusion 2-3. This represents the effect of equivariance from the intermediate universe, because that's where it starts, from 0 to 100, to our universe, U3, with intensity and the resulting confusion of discrepancy, and U3, which contributes to the Mandela effect. This adds to it. The more people that drop into universe 3 after being sifted, the more they're going to experience the Mandela effect. Why? Because people are like, no, your universe is weird. That's not my universe. Whatever you're thinking is crazy. This advanced formula attempts to capture the complex interactions between multiple universes and the effect of equivariance on the Mandela effect. However, it's important to note that this is purely speculative. I have to keep saying this. I'm not a scientist. I'm just throwing this out there, throwing some spaghetti against the wall, and maybe it'll stick. And not based on established scientific principles. It is a conceptual formula meant to explore the hypothetical relationship between these speculative concepts. Which ones? Equivariance and the Mandela effect. If you have equivariance, which I invented, which I came up with, you can now explain the reason why people have the Mandela effect. You can now explain it away. If you're in universe 1, there is no need to explain it because it doesn't happen in your universe. Everybody's on the same page, just like I was a month ago. I was on the same page as everyone else. I'm like, there is no confusion. In my world, I didn't even pay attention, honestly, to what day specifically Mandela died. But the more I think about it, I'm like, I don't know when he died. I kind of feel like I could see both. I could see the parade in 1980, and then there are people saying, no, he was released from prison in 2013. I could split right down the middle and go, yes, for both. Yes, for both. And I'm probably lean more to 2013 on that one. But there are some hills that I will die on, and that's that monocle. I'm 99% sure there was a monocle on the guy that was on the cover of Monopoly. And I'm pretty sure that there was Jiffy peanut butter. Pretty sure it was Flintstones, not Flint Stones. In my world, at least, in my universe. I know this gets crazy, right? All right, so let's go now to wars and rumors of wars into the media. I know we're covering a lot right now today, but maybe I'll make this into a part 2. But let's just say we witness a war. This is how we bring the media into this. If we witness a war recorded in the media and then perceive a change leading to doubt, leading us to doubt its authenticity, we might call this phenomenon equivariance. So we can use this. It's not the Mandela effect. This is equivariance. So again, if we're using the 3 universe 3, that in our world, we watched on the news the night before, we're like, wow, there is a war going on, blah, 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 blah. And then we go to sleep, and then the next day we go to watch that footage, and they're like, no, this was actually created by um deep fake. Somebody had a production company and they created it, then made it look like it was a war when really it wasn't a war. So you go back and you watch the previous video and you're like, oh yeah, it does kind of look fake. But last night before I went to bed, it was kind of looking real. So you go back on YouTube and you're looking for the original footage. You're like, where's the original footage? Nowhere there. And you look at the timestamp and you're like, yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, it was like in the afternoon. That's when I watched the war. Huh, but it looks fake. Weird. What is going on? Well, something happened when you went to sleep that shifted you from that view, from your originating universe, universe one, to universe two, and now you're becoming aware of what's going on, which transitions you into universe three, because now you're 100% certain, at least you thought you were 100% certain, that you saw a war happen the night before. But when you look at the footage, you're like, it's fake. And you know it's fake. You're looking at it, you're like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Yesterday it looked so real. But I look at the timestamp, everything's there. It's because you're in universe three. And something happened during the night. We'll use CERN as an example. When they fire up that collider, my sister actually sent me an episode of The Simpsons, and she's like, "You've never seen this before?" I'm like, "Nope, never seen this episode before at all. Don't even remember it being a thing." But they talk about CERN being turned on, and they turn it on, and then they turn it off because nothing happened. And they're like, "Well, that sucks." All the media, all the hype, everything is going on, and nothing happened. Then later, Lisa noticed that there was actually a black hole that they had created that was sucking everything into this black hole. We see this with CERN, I think it was in 2008, maybe it was a little bit later, that they turned it on and they're like, nothing. I'm just actually watching, I'm halfway done this documentary called Particle Fever. It's actually kind of interesting. But they flipped the switch and they're like, nothing happened. And then they realized that one of their machines burnt, like it had a helium leak or something, and it didn't allow them to do anything for like 3 to 6 months. And to them, in their original universe, nothing happened. But if we're going with our theory of echo variance, that's what caused people to shift from universe one, boom, to universe two, unbeknownst to them. And they're not aware because nobody's saying, hey, do you remember anything in the past, anything different than the future? No, they don't know. It's only once they bump into people from universe three and have interaction and they're talking about Fruit Loops and how good the cereal is, and they look at the box and it's like, wait a minute, that's spelled Fruit. Huh, I remember it as Fruit Loops, Froot. And they go on to Google and they do a little search and they see all the way back to the 60s or whenever Fruit Loops was invented. It's Fruit. So they're like, huh, I could have swore it was Froot. Oh well. They're now immersed into the universe three. But they didn't know that they'd actually sifted through from universe one to three. They have no idea until they start interacting with data from universe three because their mind is universe one. So this is why I say that CERN, unbeknownst to them, nothing is working. Nothing is happening to them. Why? Because they are in their originating universe. We may not be. Again, this is just theory, guys. I'm just throwing this out there. This would be a fantastic science fiction movie to create. That's as far as I'm taking. I'm not saying this is truth. I'm just saying I could build a case for this and say, look, to CERN, to the people there, they think this machine is a waste of money, that it's not working. They're colliding things and nothing's happening. But they may have, in fact, altered universe one unbeknownst to them because they're in their originating universe. But what happened is all of a sudden millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people might have sifted, boom, into universe two, and they're not aware. It happens so fast, like in a blink of an eye. They don't even know. They could even be watching the CERN event from home in some other country and going, well, that sucks. What a waste of time. I wasted 2 hours watching them talk about they're going to create a black hole and they're going to destroy the universe. What a bunch of farce. They go to their cupboard and they're like grabbing a bowl of Fruit Loops. They pour the box and they're like, huh, this is weird. When did they change the branding to Fruit Loops? It's Fruit. Huh, that's weird. And they pour their Fruit Loops and they begin their day in their new universe, unbeknownst to them. They're totally unaware until they see this video. So they see this video. Hey, look, you're not crazy. You're probably from universe one. It's okay. Your universe has changed. There's nothing that you can do about it. You're in universe three. Get used to it. Don't argue with it. Don't fight it. You're not going to win any arguments. If you're trying to argue with the monocle, no monocle, Jiffy, no Jiffy, um, you're in a different universe. Sorry, that universe that you know of, that you knew of, is gone. It's not there. Everybody's the same. Everything's the same. 99% of it is the same. In fact, it could be 99.99.99 or 99.9999999999% the same. You may not be aware of it until you watch this video. And once you start going down this rabbit hole, you're going to stop watching this video and you're going to go, that guy's crazy. I'm going to do an exploration. I think Nelson Mandela died in 1980. What? 2013? What? And then you're going to look up Flintstones. You're like, I don't remember it with a T. It was with an N. It was Flintstones, not Flint Stones. Who talks like that? Flint Stones. I'm telling you, it's because you used to be in universe one. So every time CERN fires up, there's more people that are going to shift into your universe. But now that you bump into those people, you're actually most likely shifted into another universe, universe four. So universe one is gone, including the people that are being shifted into your universe today. You might not even be in universe three for all you know. You could be in a different one because now you are aware that there are multiple universes out there. So you're welcome. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's see, what else do I have? What else do I have here? So we're talking about the war. So again, let's do the echo variance definition because some people might skip all the way to this video, so all the way ahead instead of watching the first 10 minutes or whatever. But I think it's important to watch this whole thing. So echo variance definition. Echo variance refers to the phenomenon where information on events from one universe echo into another universe via news on media, causing discrepancies in perception and reality. We have to understand that from a time perspective, we humans live inside time. God is outside time, and the angelic realm is outside time. Again, I'm just posing this as a hypothesis that we are constrained by time. So when we watch the media, we're like, this seems weird. Something is not right. It's because we've been sifted into a new universe unbeknownst to us. So multiverse information transfer. In a multiverse where parallel universes exist, information can sometimes transfer between universes, creating echoes of events or knowledge. That's why we call them echo variants. Perception discrepancy: when an event from another universe is recorded and reported in our universe, it might initially be perceived as true. However, if a change occurs in the originating universe, our perception of the event shifts, leading to doubt and confusion. This is what's happening right now. The echo variance effect. The echo variance effect describes a moment when information from a parallel universe creates a ripple effect in our reality, altering our perception of recorded events. So this is what the echo variance effect does. It's like, hey, I swear that that was different just a few minutes ago, but it's changed. And then you have media misconception. We might initially believe the recorded war, for example, was real based on the media reports. However, as we look around, we see no evidence of the war. We start to doubt the authenticity of that media outlet. We're like, well, those guys are fake or something because there was no war, because I'm looking around and I don't see the evidence. So I'm going to dive into the fooling percentage, and that's as far as we're going to get for today. What is the fooling percentage? What does that mean? What are we talking about here? And I'll wrap this up. What are we talking about when we're talking about fooling percentage? So here's the formula. So you have fooling percentage, which means how easy it is for us to be fooled, the media, because of echo variance and also because of the Mandela effect that we're now experiencing. So I call this fooling percentage. See, I can go down the rabbit hole with the best of them. But just so you know, I have a bungee cord attached to me, which means after I'm done this video, I could snap back to reality. Fooling percentage equals accuracy, which could be 0 accuracy, all the way up to 100% accuracy, times media exposure, how many times you're seeing the videos being showed on the media, various media outlets, could be Fox, could be CNN, whatever. The more you see it, the more doubt, especially if it's different than what you've perceived the day before. Media exposure times, and I've run out of space, critical thinking. Because if you don't have the ability to think critically, you're going to be confused more. So this is what the fooling percentage is. You need to be able to think critically. But if you're exposed to an event that isn't very accurate and you're exposed to that through the media over and over again, your critical thinking is going to be changed and it could be diminished, or the accuracy could be lower, the media exposure could be higher, and that is what equals to the fooling percentage. This is how you get fooled. It's because of a lack of accuracy times the media exposure times critical thinking. And again, these are on ranges from 0 to 100. So if you have accuracy, this represents how accurate and realistic, and we're talking about, I should have included this, deep fake. This changes things. So when I'm talking about accuracy, I'm talking about how deep fake actually affects our perspective. So if you have a video that is shown, let's say the day before, about a car crash, and the next day someone that has deep fake technology can be 99% accurate with that coverage, you're going to start being confused because you're like, oh, you mean it was fake? And then now that more times they show that deep fake video, your critical thinking could be reduced as well because you're now confused. And one other thing I forgot to add to this fooling percentage is the degree of echo variance. So you have fooling percentage equals accuracy times media exposure times critical thinking times echo variance will equal how much you get fooled. Because again, remember, you're from universe 1. You don't belong in universe 3. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair to people that come from universe 1. It's not fair to you. You're stuck in universe 3. So media exposure indicates the frequency and reach of deepfake across media platforms. Higher values mean more exposure. Critical thinking 0 to 100 represents the level of critical thinking and skepticism among the audience. High values mean the audience is more skeptical. And then number 4, echo variance factor. This factor accounts for the phenomenon of echo variance. It reflects the potential for information from another universe to create discrepancies and reality. So the explanation again is the formula calculates the percentage of people that are likely to be fooled by deepfake. It considers the accuracy of the deepfake, how realistic it is, the media exposure, how widely it's seen, and the critical thinking of the audience, how skeptical they are. So that's as far as I'm going to go down this rabbit hole today. Isn't that fun? Again, this is all hypothetical. I'm just making this stuff up. I'm throwing it out to you. This isn't scientific data. I'm not a scientist. I just thought, you know what? Why don't I just try and articulate what my theory of what the multi-universe could be based on the idea of echo variance, which I created out of thin air to help explain the Mandela effect, because there are people that experience the Mandela effect, and the ones that experience the Mandela effect are the ones that are saying my timeline is different from yours. But to other people, they're like, there is no such thing as the Mandela effect. They're crazy. They're crazy. So that's why I wanted to make this video. What do you think? What do you think about this? Now that you know that I'm not a scientist, I'm just throwing this out. This is hypothetical. This is just me just sharing my thoughts. That's all. Like if somebody were to explain the multi-universe, how would they do this? Well, this could be one way to do it. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, take this with a grain of salt and do your own research. Do a little bit of a deep dive, but attach yourself to a bungee cord so that you can come back up out of the rabbit hole. Because CERN, I think on April 5th, Good Friday, they actually began a consistent beam of accelerating the particles again. And in October, they're going to collide them again. So they're not going to stop. They're trying to do something. And like I mentioned in a roundtable last night, what are they after? You hear pockets of people say they're after the tree of life. They're trying to bring something out from this portal, or they're trying to put something into this portal. We don't know. They spent billions of dollars on this equipment. It's crazy, right? Crazy, crazy. Anyways, I hope you got something out of this video. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. Share in your comments. If this makes you think a little bit, let me know in the comments. You can even share, I'd be curious to know, is it Fruit Loops? F-R-O-O-T? Is it fruit? F-R-U-I-T? What is it? What's going on? Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you guys. And I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.